So we're back from yet another international break, and it seems like we've had a lot already this season. I don't know why it sort of feels that way, but we are going straight into Premier League action once again. Round eight, it's looking like an interesting one, but from a prediction side, it's actually rather difficult. But I've got Victor here with me, and we'll be doing the usual justice to giving the best picks for the weekend. So without wasting more time, Victor, what are your best straight win selections?
Once again, this week I'm going back to that system where I give you two outrights and I'm giving you a warning, just highlighting the biggest red flag. There's a couple of them, as you mentioned. It's a very tough match day, but I'm highlighting the biggest one I found. So, first of all, Sunderland versus Wolves. Sunderland to win, 253. I think they're obviously the better team here, and sure, Wolves, they've had two draws, they've boosted morale a little bit, but there's still a proper gap in quality here. Besides, Sunderland, they um, they actually have two wins and a draw at home in the Prem this season. So yeah, if you don't fancy the outright, just go for the double chance. Draw Sunderland to win, 139. Another one is Man City versus Everton. Man City to win at 144. And no, I'm not fully convinced that City are so back, but they have a decent, actually a good recent record against Everton. They've won 8 of the last 10 head-to-heads, and they've drawn the other two. Besides Everton, they're decent, but rather at home, not on the road. On the road, they've played three, lost two, and managed to win one at home. And that was against the weakest team in the league, and that's Wolves. Lastly, Fulham versus Arsenal. That gets my fingers off warning. Sure, Arsenal are absolutely the favorites here, and for good reason. But Fulham at home are very much underrated. This is a team that knows where they stand. They play to their strengths. They hide their weaknesses when they're playing at home. And they are actually undefeated at home in 5 games this season. They've won four and only drew against Man United, and that's arguably a game they dominated. Also, Fulham, they've not lost at Craven Cottage against Arsenal in the last 2 seasons. They drew last year and they beat Arsenal the season before that. So it's really not an easy away day for Arsenal. I'm just staying away from the outright, and if you care about your balance, so should you. Timeout. Kolade, when you're not speaking, I think it's best to mute yourself. You've got voices in the background.
Okay,
Okay?
okay.
All
Yeah.
right. So, yeah, you can go ahead with yours now, and then you cut this bit out.
Yeah, sure. Those are pretty, very, very insightful selections. But for me, I'm still backing Arsenal to win, regardless,
Of course, you
regardless of
are.
whether I'm backing Arsenal to win. I'm also backing Chelsea to win, though I was a bit surprised to see that Chelsea were priced at 1.99, just shy of two odds to win Forest. I'm a bit surprised at that, but I'm still backing Chelsea to win. I think Forest are just pretty bad at the moment, and Angie is just off. It's just off off it at the moment. And I'm also backing Sunderland. I also found it pretty exciting. 2.5 against Wolves, but yeah, I'm backing Sunderland. Sunderland at home are a much different side, and I think, like you said, the quality is just they are miles apart, and I think Sunderland should be able to win them. And anyways, yeah. Moving on to the goal market, Victor. What are your best selections?
Brighton versus Newcastle, BTTS, 164. Um, I'm basing this tip more on how Brighton are doing than Newcastle, but still, BTTS has landed in 4 out of Brighton's last 5 fixtures, and it's also landed in 4 of the last 5 H2Hs. So Newcastle, I think, will definitely score. They've got 11 goals in their last 4 games, but Brighton also have scored 13 times in their last 5. So very much BTTS without a second thought here. Another goal markets tip: Spurs versus Villa over 2.5 goals, 1.87. Yes, it's a bit long for a 2.5 plus, but I think it's worth it. Spurs have been their usual Jekyll and Hyde up and down, cold and hot routine. At the same time, Villa, they've been picking up steam. They're actually unbeaten in their last five. They've got 4 wins in that stretch. Both sides, I think, will want to go for it properly, mostly for different reasons, but I think the attackers will be at the races for this. Also, 8 of the last 10 direct meetings, 3 or more goals. There's a good track record. Lastly, for goals, Sunderland versus Wolves. I'm going back to that well again. 2.5 minus, so under 2.5 goals, 1.63. Only one of each side's last five in all competitions finished with 3 or more goals. And if you look at the style of play, so the eye test as well, I think no one can realistically expect a goal fest here. We're not looking at H2Hs. It's been over 7 years since the last direct meeting. But based on current evidence, this campaign, it's most likely going to be a narrow, low scoring win for Sunderland.
Yeah, fair enough. I was scared for a moment thinking you were going to say over 2.5, for I was scared thinking you were going to say over 2.5,
No,
for
no, no.
that game.
I care about our viewers' balance, mate.
Fair enough. For me, I'm going with City v Everton for over 2.5. I think City are just not even City. Ireland in particular is on a mission right now. So I think you really can't stop him for now. I'm also going with Tottenham versus Villa because I think both teams will definitely score. And Villa, they've seen a little resurgence over the past 4 games. So I think we'll see a
Yeah.
different Villa side compared to the ones that we've seen at the start of the season. Then I'm also going with Liverpool v United. I really don't think I need to explain that game, but I think we're going to see a lot of goals in that one. Either we see a close encounter or one team blows the other team away completely. But I think we are going to see at least 3 goals for Liverpool, yeah, v United. And then moving on, Victor, best player to score selection.
You mentioned it yourself. Haaland's on a mission, right?
Hmm.
City v Everton. Haaland to score 172. I think everyone should just keep him as anytime goal scorer on their slips until he fails to score 2 games in a row. That should qualify as a crisis, judging by how he's going right now. West Ham v Brentford, I'm going with Bowen because I think for a team that's seemingly so hopeless,
Hmm.
and I obviously mean West Ham, Bowen has been doing his due diligence regardless. He's on 3 goals this season. And I would say against better sides than Brentford. He's scored against Forest, Palace, and Everton. Brentford have also gotten into a little bit of a habit conceding goals from opposition wingers. Um, Palmer, Iwobi, and Wilson all netted against them recently.
Hmm.
And my other goal scorer pick is Semenyo for Bournemouth against Palace away. 3.55, it's shockingly high for what I thought.
Hmm.
It's just another one of those that you just have to have, just like Haaland. He scored 3 goals in 3 games on the road for Brentford sorry, for Bournemouth, I should say, this season. It was a brace against Liverpool and the goal against Leeds. He's only blanked against Spurs away from home. Palace are solid defensively, absolutely, especially at home, but I still believe this is more than worth a punt.
Fair enough. For me, just like we already mentioned, I think I don't need to mention Ireland anymore because Ireland is literally just Ireland. But if there's one player I trust, I don't know why, almost as much as Ireland, anywhere I see him, it has to be Mateta. I just trust Mateta a lot. So I'm going with Mateta against Bournemouth. Yeah, it's a tough opposition in Bournemouth, but I think most of Bournemouth's strength this season has been in their attack. Yes, Senesi and some guys have been decent, but I don't think their defense has been as standout as their attack. So I still think Mateta can get on the score sheet. And then
Yeah.
over to Tottenham Villa, Watkins. I'm going with Watkins. Yeah, I think I think he has a chance against Spurs. I mean, Spurs will always be Spurs. Like anyone can find a chance against them, and I think the game is BTTS anyways. So I think Watkins could get on the score sheet. And finally, I'm going with Saka. Yeah, Bukayo Saka against Fulham. Saka has been on
Shocker.
decent form. He has been on a decent form for England also during the break. And from recent evidence, it seems like Saka remains the penalty taker. He's not willing to give it to Gyökeres for any reason at all. So it only makes more sense that Saka is the more likely candidate now than Gyökeres to score, since he's going to be the one on the end of those set pieces as well. And moving on from that, let's go to the next one, Victor. Any same game selections?
To the shock of no one, I'm putting together a builder for drumroll Liverpool v United. I'm not giving anyone an outright here. Okay, I don't want anybody to think, oh, he's biased, blah blah blah. But
Mm,
BTTS at 150, 2.5 plus goals at 142, and over 4.5 cards of any color at 166. Overall odds 3.53. I think it's a nice balanced little builder here. Reasoning, plenty of goals separately and in head-to-heads, as well as no love lost between these sides, obviously. BTTS landed in 4 out of Liverpool's last 5 fixtures and 3 of United's last 5. Okay? Over 2.5 goals, 4 of the last 5 games for both teams. Cards, 5 or more cards in 4 of the last 5 direct meetings in official games. There was one friendly, that one doesn't count for here.
okay, fair enough. And just on the final note, Victor, any opportunity or bold advantage to make use of?
Yeah, Max is gonna love this. I'm backing Cunha to score against Liverpool for 360. I think Liverpool's right flank has been looking very suspect all season long. Salah's strengths obviously do not lie in the defensive transition, and all of the right back options, Frimpong, Soboslai, Bradley, like to bomb forward. I think there's a decent chance of a Cunha goal here. And my second bold pick, I'm going exactly against the grain from you, and I'm backing Forest to beat Chelsea. It's definitely a bit of a punt, this. It's priced at 4. But let's face it, Chelsea haven't been all that on the road this season. They only managed to beat West Ham soundly, and in the EFL Cup, Lincoln barely. Maybe I'm being a bit too optimistic about this one, but I think Big Ange will prove his chops here. You could obviously go with the double chance route here, go draw or Forest to win. That's at 190, but I'm going outright Forest.
Interesting. For me, actually going with Bournemouth to score 2 goals against Palace. It's actually priced very high, obviously because Bournemouth are away. But I think seeing how they've been playing so far this season, there's no reason to think they can't do that. Uh, I'm also going for Liverpool v United. Liverpool v United. Liverpool are the favourite in my opinion, but for some reason, if anyone is feeling bold enough, just go with United win or draw. If you're feeling, if anyone is feeling bold enough, I feel like Liverpool will be sort of jittery going into that game. 2 losses, and it's at Anfield as well, so there's more pressure on them. Yeah, yeah, 3 losses in a row. Yeah, so there's pressure on them, to deliver. So I feel like if United somehow manage to score first, they might win or draw that game. But yeah, it's a very bold one. I mostly do not see it happening, but yeah, for those that like to take risks, you can go with this one. And there you have it. Those are predictions for the upcoming round 8 in the Premier League. Things are heating up pretty fast, and like we always say, make sure you do your due diligence because we are only giving our predictions based on what we think. But you can also, follow your own thoughts as well and follow our tips as a guide, or so to say. So
And it's
those
a
are our
really tough match day, so everybody should
exactly. It's a
really
really
do their
tough.
homework.
Exactly. And also the added fact that we see some funny results right after the international break because of fitness and
Yeah,
other stuff like that. So take this match game week with a pinch of salt, if you put it that way. But anyways, we'll be here to discuss after this game with the best talking point, the best results, and the best consequences ahead of the next round of action. Stay tuned.